Okay, today we are going to be talking about something that most social media managers overlook, and then it's costing them time, money, and also we're going to be talking about the role of a community manager because this is the truth. A lot of people are already doing the work of a community manager. You know, they are doing it for their clients, replying to DMs, engaging with their audience, moderating in groups, but you are not charging for it. Now, by the end of this life, you know exactly what a community leader does and how to differentiate from being a social media manager, and also how to charge for your service as a community manager. You know, you need to charge for that knowledge. I'm going to be sharing my screen now, so just give me a few seconds. Now, here we have it. So, what does a community manager actually do? Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, let's dive in, guys. Meanwhile, sorry guys, I've normally I plan coming live every day in August, but along the line, it's been 2 days. I think I've missed about 2 or 3 days now because I've been so super busy. But I hope that I'm able to make it up to you guys. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you're well. Now let's move on. Now, why does this matter? Like why this matters? Now, you see, many clients they don't know the difference. Like to them, you handle their social media, and then that means that you handle everything. You handle content engagement, you handle DMs, you handle those customer services, and all of that. That is why so many social media managers they feel like they are doing like three jobs together in one and getting paid for one exactly. Right. If you understand the difference, this particular live video going to help you. If you like, when you understand the difference, you'll be able to stop working for free as a social media manager. You'll be able to start positioning yourself as a premium partner, not an employee, overwhelmed employee. And also you'll be able to protect your time and your mental health. Like that's one of the most important part of this life. Right. Now let's move on. If you are just joining, we are talking about community management. What do they actually do? Now, this is social media manager versus community manager. Now, this is for clarity, right? A lot of people do not know what community manager is, and they don't even know what social media manager management is, right? I mean, even some social media managers don't even know, they cannot even they don't really know the difference, right? So let me break it down clearly. Now, social media manager, what they do is that they think like a strategist. They are creators. They plan content, they schedule content, they analyze results, and then their focus is strategy and visibility. Right. This is what you are meant to be doing as a social media manager. Now, if you're a community manager, what you are meant to do is you think about you managing people, relationships, you responding to comments, responding to DMs, engaging in the DM, moderating on groups, building loyalty for a brand. Now, the social media manager, to me, what I've been able to coin out is that social media managers, what they do is that they handle the stage, and then community managers, they handle the crowd. Right. Now, you may wonder, why do you need community management? Why do you need to know about community management when you're a social media manager? If you really do not know about community management, you may end up doing that role for a social media management role, and then not being paid for it because you just believe that it's part of your work, whereas it is not part of your work. If you are doing that for a client, that means you're charging for it. If you're not charging for it, you are leaving a lot of money on the table. Right. So let's move on. Now, the invisible work of community managers, right? So there are some roles that, if you are not stating it, people that you're doing it for, probably your client, they may get snaky, because a lot of other social media managers are already doing this work for free. I mean, community management. They just feel that because this client hired me to do their social media manage their social media platforms, then I am meant to respond to their DMs. It's not a big deal. I'll just say respond to the DM, or it's not a big deal. I'll just respond to the comment, right? Imagine that you are responding to over 100 plus DMs in a week. Why am I even talking about a week? Even in a day, there are some clients that they've got people that are always chatting them. I mean, customers, inquiries. Some of them are even running ads, and then you are in the DM speaking, chatting with their potential customers. So now imagine you are not being paid for that time that you are spending like on the DM. Do you know how time consuming that is for you? Because chatting with people that are potential buyers, it involves you speaking about the brand, representing the brand, and then making sure that you understand the process so that they are able to buy from that brand. Now that is another role on its own. You're answering frequently asked questions, in the comments. You are moderating the client's Facebook group, or probably a Telegram channel, or even Instagram channel. You are even organizing polls, challenges, or live question and answers, and all of that. That is community management. And if you are not charging for it, you are losing time, energy, and money. Right? You need to know the difference, and then you need to be able to charge for it, because if you're not charging for it, you are shooting yourself at the leg. Right? So let's move on. Now, because you may think about it, why do brands pay for community management? If you think about it, community management is like the backbone of social media managers, because it means that is where the sale happen, that is where the relationship connection happen. Because when you're able to respond to people's comments under your post, when you're able to respond to people's DM, that is where conversion actually happens. Right now, if you are a community manager, and then you wonder why would they pay for, I mean, if you're a social media manager, and then you wonder why will brand pay for community managers, you know they need to pay extra because you are doing extra work, right? It costs 5 times more to get a new client than to keep an existing client, right? So community management helps keep people loyal, right? So if they have you as their community manager, they already know that you can help them keep their clients without them spending 5 times more to get a brand new client, right? Now, they have a strong community, they have more referrals, they have more word of mouth, and then they have more sales. Easy. Now, another thing is that when people feel seen in the comments, in the DMs, they trust the brand faster. Imagine that it is somebody that is, I'm not talking about you just automating it and just getting generic responses from AI, from many chat and all of that. I'm talking about real people typing responses, connecting with potential clients. It is as important as them having a social media manager. And if your social media manager can actually do the two, you are in luck, right? Because it means that they can actually work with you, and then they can actually connect you to your audience by responding and engaging with them promptly, right? So I remember a client of mine had a beauty group on Facebook. Right. Now we started engaging with them daily, question and answers, interactive polls, and all of that. Within a month, you will not believe that brand sales went up from 25% just from community interaction. Right. So that's exactly the power of community management. It increases sales because now there is trust. Right. So let's move on. Now, adding community management to your services, upsell strategy. This is for social media managers, because that is another part of your business that I know that a lot of, especially Nigerian social media managers, they leave that part of their business because they feel that, oh, they can easily do that. It doesn't matter how many minutes will it take me to respond to a comment, how many minutes will it take me to respond to these people's DM. It doesn't matter and all of that, but you need to charge for it, right? Even though that is not your whole role. But if you are going to be doing it, then you shouldn't be doing it for free. It's an upsell strategy for you. Now, how do you turn your community management services into money? You don't need to like rebrand yourself as a full-time community manager. That's doing too much. Just make it an add-on service, right? You have a, like, for example, if you have like a base package, you have content plus strategy plus analytics, then you make your add-on like engagement plus DMs plus group moderation, right? You can charge an extra $200, even more, even up to $500, as much as you know, as long as you have the experience and then you have what it takes. And also it depends on the hours that you are going to be using on each of these um on it depends on how many hours you're going to be using for community management during your work with your clients. Clients will gladly pay you when you frame it as, for example, if you are saying something like, I won't just grow your followers, I'll build a loyal community that actually buys from you, right? Because they know they need it. They don't have the time to do all of these things. They need somebody that can do it for them. Now, if you're just doing it in such a way that, oh, it's not big deal, I can just do it, they will not value it. Make it an add-on service and then bring it aside, write an outline and let them see the deliverables that you're going to be doing. And let them, have an example of, oh, I'll build a loyal community for you that actually buys from you. I'll build people, your email list will grow through this community. Promise them a conversion they can get through your services as their community manager. Right. Let's move on. I remember there um was it 2 years ago, I cannot pinpoint that year, that I had a client who wanted me to just reply to comments and DMs. In my mind, I just assumed that it's not a big deal because mostly I work on my phone then, and I'm always pressing my phone, always, I was a stay-at-home mom. I was always like on my phone 247 and all of that. And I realized that I was spending like 5 extra hours, every single day doing that, responding to comments, responding to DM. Why am I even saying 5 hours? In fact, I cannot even quantify the amount of time that I spent responding to DM. It was overwhelming. Right. Let me just say 5 hours, or okay, let me just don't let me exaggerate. Let me just say 2 hours every day on responding to DM and then responding to comments. And when you're responding to DM, it could be like you start a conversation and then you continue that conversation. And then the client will respond maybe like 3 hours after, and then you start to continue the conversation again. Right. So let's just say, okay, 2 hours. That's about 40 plus hours in a month, unpaid. Imagine working for somebody for 40 hours in a month and then you are working for free. Until I was able to define that word, that this is community management. And then I had to add about, I think about $350 to my package. Then the client didn't even, she knew that what I was doing was actually time consuming, but she thought I would never know until I found out that it's actually time consuming. Right. Now I had to like increase the charges and also tell her that this is like an add-on to my services. So she has to pay me separate for that. Guess what, you guys? She didn't even argue because she knows that it was a big deal, right? You know, she saw the value, and then she saw the value in it, and then she knows that the value that I give in managing not just a page but our audience's relationship with her is actually beyond measure, and then she paid me for that service. Do you understand? But sometimes some clients may not agree, and that's okay. If they don't agree to pay you extra for community management, that is not your client. Move on and then look for a client that's actually going to value your work. Now, red flags when you are doing community management for free. First of all, there are some signs that you are doing community management for free that you may not know that you're doing it for free. First of all, you spend more time replying to DMs than actually creating content. You are either replying to DMs, replying to polls. For example, maybe your client is asking you to moderate a group or handle customer messages frequently. You are already doing community management and it's for free. You are responsible for engagement, but it is not in the contract. they didn't write in your contract that you are going to be responding to, maybe you didn't write in your contract that you're going to be responding to DMs, you're going to be responding to comments, and then anytime your client sees a comment, they are sending you messages that, oh, you've not responding to this comment, you've not responding to this person, right? They are actually trying to enforce that role on you. So it is on you to be able to um differentiate and be able to come out straight that, oh, if you want me to do this role, it is available. I can do it for you, but I charge differently for it. Right. You need to, if you want to be a community manager and you want to do that as an add-on to your service as a social media manager, all you have to do is just to make sure that you're outlining the deliverables and then putting charges on it. That is how to get paid and not do it for free anyway, because you are the social media manager. I hope that makes sense to you. Now let's move on. You can just drop me in the comment. Have you ever been asked to reply to DM, moderate a group, or just handle engagement without being paid for it? You can just drop yes in the chat. If it's happened to you before, you can just drop yes. I really need to know if I'm not the only one in this what is it called. Now let's move on. Now this is like the recap of everything that I've said tonight, so that you let it sink in once again. So to recap it is that social media managers, they are content, they create content, and then they create strategy. Now, let's just say social media managers equals strategy plus content, right? Community managers equals engagement plus relationships. That is the major difference. If you have not learned anything today in today's class, hold on to this, right? So if you do both, you should charge for both. Simple. If you add community management to your services, it can boost your income as a social media manager, maybe by $500, by $200. It depends on your level and then your level of experience and then how many hours you're going to be charging for. Right. Now, if you have any more questions about what we have discussed about, what I've taught you tonight, you can just drop it in the comments so that we can work on it. Right. The thing is that boundaries only work if you have systems. Right. Boundaries only work if you have system. That is why I created the Pro Social Media Manager Client and Content Kit. Right. Inside it, you'll find contracts with clear role definitions. So your clients stop dumping free work on you. Right. And then they are to sign it before you working with them. You have onboarding forms that explain what is included and what is not. You have analytic template that keep your clients informed so that they don't over around you. Now you have content strategy documents, templates, and all of that to position you as the expert that they need. Now, for you to stop being underpaid, you need all of this system in place. You need to have a structure. You need to have a system. You need to show up in the best version of yourself, the best version of your business. You know, you need to start being respected as a professional. And you are not the huge step that you need to take is getting my Pro Social Media Manager Client and Content Kit. Right. I had a link. I think I added a link to my description box where you can get a link directly to get a copy of it. It's in downloadable template where you can make a copy, edit, change the font, change the colors to what suits you, and then use it with your client. It takes you from 0 to 100. Yes, you'll be able to charge your worth with this system and structure in place, right? If you're just joining, you guys, make sure that you like this video, replay it, and also subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys for watching and see you tomorrow. Have a lovely night, guys. Bye.